Let me teach you something life doesn't print in the textbooks. The world is not fair. It never has been. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you take. And if you're waiting for permission to win, you'll be waiting until you're broken, and buried. To win in this world, you don't whisper your goals and hope they happen. You take them by force. Not physical violence. I'm talking about mental, emotional, spiritual, and financial domination. You force results by being undeniable, by becoming a machine that doesn't stop until the target is obliterated. People say, be patient. Sure. But patience without aggression is just procrastination in disguise. If you're not willing to outwork, outthink, and outfight every version of yourself and every person in your way, you're not a competitor. You're a spectator. Wake up early. Move heavy things. Learn faster. Speak sharper. Think harder. Earn bigger. If something doesn't work, smash it and build again. That's force, not sitting around hoping, but getting up and imposing your will on the world. You want money. Force it. You want freedom. Force it. You want respect. You better force it, because no one gives it out for free, especially to the soft, the scared, and the silent. Winners don't win by chance. They win by force. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. In this world, nobody truly cares about what you intended to do. Your plans, your dreams, your good heart, they all mean nothing if they aren't backed by results. Power does not bend to feelings. It responds only to strength. The world operates on a simple, brutal principle: power respects power. That's it. You can be the kindest person, the smartest person, or the most well-meaning individual, but if you're not in control, if you're not commanding results, no one listens. No one moves for you. No one follows you. Because intentions don't shake the earth. Power does. The person who wins isn't always the nicest, the most moral, or the most qualified. The person who wins is the one who refuses to lose. The one who demands respect, not by begging for it, but by becoming too powerful to ignore. That power can take many forms: knowledge, wealth, discipline, focus, presence. But the key is this: you must possess something that the world needs, and you must be ready to use it without hesitation. Too many people live in their heads. I was going to start that business. I meant to go to the gym. I thought about speaking up, but they didn't, because deep down, they believe that having a good plan is enough. It's not. Nobody will ever hand you a win because of your intentions. They hand it to the one who shows up, who executes, who dominates. Look around you. People follow strength. They follow certainty. They follow individuals who take control and make decisions, not the ones who overthink, second guess, and wait for the perfect moment. Intentions are safe. They're excuses dressed up as virtue. People use intentions to feel good about doing nothing. But power is earned through work, risk, and discomfort. Power is messy, it's painful, but it's real. And once you have it, you don't need to explain your intentions. Your actions speak louder than any words ever could. If you walk into a room with power, people feel it. It's not about being arrogant or loud. It's about being grounded, confident, and relentless. Power doesn't ask for permission. Power doesn't apologize for winning. Power doesn't need to justify itself to people who haven't done the work. And when you operate from a place of real power, your presence alone becomes a force. People move differently around you. They listen. They respect, not because you asked, but because you earned it. Now here's the truth most people avoid: the weak cling to intentions. It's their shield against responsibility. I meant well becomes their safety net for failure. But the powerful, they own every outcome. If they fail, they take it on the chin and keep pushing. If they win, they build on it. They don't sit around hoping life understands their heart. They go out and take what they're after. Because power respects power. Not your excuses, not your delays, not your good intentions. The universe doesn't reward the one who dreams. It rewards the one who acts. So ask yourself, are you living in your intentions, or are you living in your power? Are you constantly thinking about what you could do? Or are you making the moves no one else dares to make? You want respect. You want influence. Be powerful. You want change. be powerful. Because at the end of the day, the people who rise are not the ones with the best hearts. They're the ones who built themselves into a weapon. The ones who earned their voice through action. And the ones who understood early on that power doesn't bow to intention. It bows to force. Discipline is the most valuable asset you can develop because without it, nothing else matters. Motivation comes and goes. Emotions rise and fall. But discipline is the engine that keeps moving no matter the weather. It's the weapon that slices through the noise, the fatigue, the doubt. Every successful person you admire, regardless of field, got there not because they were always inspired, but because they were disciplined. They did what needed to be done whether they felt like it or not. That's the difference. That's what separates winners from wishers. Comfort is the trap. It lures you in with soft promises. Rest today, take it easy, you deserve a break. It whispers lies in your ear. But comfort is a slow killer. It kills your drive, your progress, your potential. It convinces you to sit when you should be grinding, to coast when you should be climbing. You think comfort is a reward, but it's a prison in disguise. Because once you start choosing comfort over action, you start losing the war. Silently, slowly, without even realizing it, you want to win. Then discipline must become your default. Wake up early even when you're tired. Train when it hurts. Work when everyone else is relaxing. Build when they're sleeping. You don't need motivation. You need a standard. You need rules that you never break. That's what discipline is. It's the commitment to yourself that doesn't bend with emotion or external circumstances. People say they want success, but they aren't ready to suffer for it. They want to look good, but they aren't ready to sweat. They want wealth, but they aren't ready to grind through boredom, repetition, and sacrifice. And that's where discipline comes in. It makes you do the work when nothing in you feels like doing it. It turns average men into machines, weak minds into weapons. Comfort keeps you in your current reality. Discipline breaks you out of it. Comfort says, you've done enough. Discipline says, you haven't done anything yet. Comfort says, relax, you deserve it. Discipline says, deserve what? You haven't earned anything yet. You either feed your discipline or feed your excuses. One builds you, the other buries you. Every day, you have a choice. Pick the easy path and fall behind, or pick the hard path and build dominance. It's not about being harsh. It's about being honest. The hard path is where growth lives. It's where confidence is forged. You don't develop mental toughness in warm, cozy environments. You earn it through resistance, through grind, through pushing yourself past the point of comfort again and again. Look around. The world is soft. People break down over nothing. They chase convenience like it's gold. But those same people never reach their potential. Because potential is unlocked through repetition, through consistency, through sacrifice. And sacrifice is a discipline. It's the ability to say no when everyone else says yes. To say not yet when the world says right now. If you want to separate yourself from the pack, you must be more disciplined than them. Period. That's how you win. Not by being more talented, not by being more gifted, but by showing up every day like it's war. By outworking, outlasting, and outthinking everyone around you. When they rest, you grind. When they slow down, you push harder. Because comfort is their drug, and you've chosen something stronger purpose. You are either ruled by discipline or destroyed by comfort. There is no middle ground. You don't get to be both comfortable and exceptional. So decide what you want more, short-term ease or long-term power. If you truly want to rise above, then you must fall in love with discomfort. You must crave the pain, the pressure, the process, because that's where the real transformation happens. And once you master discipline, you become unstoppable. You become the one no one can outlast. The one who doesn't need motivation, doesn't need applause, doesn't need comfort, because discipline already made you dangerous. The world isn't going to hand you a throne. No one is coming to give you the top spot just because you're talented or because you have potential. Dominance isn't gifted, it's taken. You don't wait around hoping for the stars to align or for someone to recognize your worth. You step in and claim it by force, with action, with work. Every second you spend waiting is a second someone else is outworking you, outsmarting you, and building what you said you wanted. Life rewards the bold, not the patient, not the passive, the bold. The ones who show up with an iron mindset and say, "This is mine now." They don't ask, they don't beg, they don't hope, they take. And that mentality changes everything. When you stop waiting for permission, you stop living like a victim. You stop relying on luck. You start becoming lethal. You move with purpose. You walk into every room like you belong, because you've already decided you do. Too many people are stuck in hesitation. They're waiting for the perfect time, the perfect conditions, the perfect mood. That's weakness. There is no perfect time. There is only now. If you're not willing to attack life now, you never will. Dominance is about urgency. It's about moving fast, breaking limits, and refusing to let fear control your actions. It's about deciding that no one, not your boss, not your past, not your doubts, gets to control your outcome but you. The dominant ones in life, they're not always the smartest or most talented. They're the most ruthless with their execution. They're the ones who show up every single day, regardless of how they feel. They don't let distraction slow them down. They don't let failure stop them. They don't need anyone to validate them. They validate themselves by stacking wins. And those wins come from action, not intention. You want to dominate in your field. Then stop playing small. Stop worrying about what people think. Stop being afraid of rejection, of failure, of being judged. Those are games for weak minds. Dominance requires full commitment. You don't dip your toe in the water. You burn the boats and go all in. If you're not ready to go all in, then you've already lost, because someone else out there is, and they're going to take what you thought was yours. Dominance is also consistency. It's not just one big move. It's 100 small ones done relentlessly, day after day. While others are sleeping, relaxing, waiting, you're grinding. While they talk, you execute. While they stall, you strike. That's how you build real power. It's not about hype, it's about results. And results only come when you stop watching from the sidelines and step into the arena with blood in your eyes and fire in your chest. If you wait for dominance, you'll be waiting forever. The world doesn't work like that. The world moves fast, and if you don't take control, it will control you. Someone else will take your place. Someone else will live the life you wanted. That's the harsh truth. The dominant ones are not lucky. They're just hungrier. They're just more obsessed. And they don't let anything, not fatigue, not comfort, not fear, get in the way of what they're building. So here's your choice. Keep sitting, keep dreaming, keep waiting. Or stand up, take aim, and dominate. Be the one who moves first. Be the one who pushes harder. Be the one who makes people uncomfortable with how focused you are. Because in the end, only one type of person walks out with the crowned one who took it. Not the one who deserved it. Not the one who asked nicely. The one who refused to leave without it. In the real world, power is everything. It's not about who's the nicest, who's the smartest, or who has the best intentions. It's about who walks into the room and makes people pay attention without saying a word. Power recognizes itself. It respects strength. It respects certainty. It respects those who have built themselves into something unshakable. But weakness gets dismissed. It gets walked over, passed by, and forgotten. People say they want respect, but they haven't earned power. And without power, no one listens. You have to understand this brutal truth if you ever want to rise. The world doesn't owe you attention. You don't get rewarded for existing. You get rewarded for commanding presence, delivering results, and being someone others can't ignore. That doesn't come from softness. That doesn't come from waiting for handouts. That comes from doing the hard things over and over until you've forged a presence that people feel when you walk in. You don't need to talk loud. You don't need to beg. Your discipline, your success, your aura, that's what speaks. Look around you. Weakness gets sympathy, sure, But sympathy is a trap. Sympathy doesn't equal respect. People might pat you on the back, feel bad for you, say some comforting words, and then move on. No one follows weakness. No one invests in it. No one bets on the man who doesn't back himself. If you want to be respected, if you want influence, if you want control over your environment, you have to build power, internally first, then externally. Because when you carry real power, you don't have to ask for respect. It shows up with you. Power isn't given, it's taken. It's earned in the gym when no one's watching. It's earned in your business when you outwork everyone. It's earned in silence through sacrifice. You have to be willing to do what others won't and keep doing it long after they've quit. That's where power is born. And the beautiful thing, once you have it, you walk different, talk different, you don't chase anything. Everything starts chasing you. Respect, opportunity, attention. Because the world recognizes real strength when it sees it. But if you walk through life timid, insecure, constantly looking for approval, you'll never be taken seriously. People sense weakness. They may not say it, but they feel it. And the moment they do, they put you in a box and close the lid. It's not personal. It's just how life works. We're wired to follow strength. That's how tribes were built. That's how kingdoms were led. And that's still how boardrooms, businesses, and social hierarchies function today. You're either commanding or obeying. You're either leading or watching. You want to be powerful. Start holding yourself to a higher standard. Stop making excuses. Stop acting like life is supposed to be fair. It's not. Life is a fight, and only the powerful walk away with what they want. You build power through relentless effort, through discipline, through choosing growth over comfort every single day. You build it by mastering your body, your mind, your environment. No shortcuts, no whining. Just work day in, day out, until power is no longer something you chase. It's something you carry. The second you step out of weakness, the world treats you differently. People move aside. They make room. They listen. Because they sense you're not someone to be taken lightly. That's the level you need to aim for. Not to impress people, but to control your destiny. Because when you're powerful, you don't react to life. You shape it. You don't get pushed around. You make the rules. You don't get ignored. You become the one who decides who gets in and who stays out. So remember this: power respects power. If you want the world to see you, respect you, follow you, then become undeniable. Build yourself into a weapon, because anything less will be ignored. Kindness is a beautiful thing, but in this world, kindness without strength is invisible. People might smile at you, they might appreciate you briefly, but they won't take you seriously. Why? Because kindness without strength is perceived as weakness. And weakness, no matter how well-intentioned, gets overlooked, stepped on, and forgotten. You can't lead with softness alone. You can't influence with just good vibes. If you want real respect, if you want to move people, shift outcomes, and make a lasting impact, you need to pair kindness with undeniable strength. Strength, on the other hand, without any kindness, is feared, and fear doesn't last. People obey fear, yes. People may move when you raise your voice or flash your power, but deep down, they're waiting for a moment to rebel. They're waiting for the day you slip. Fear-based power is hollow. It's temporary. It isolates you. It makes you the villain in everyone's story. And sooner or later, that catches up to you. You may win for a while, but you won't build anything meaningful. No legacy, no loyalty, just fear, and fear eventually fades. But when you bring both, when you're strong enough to dominate, but wise enough to choose compassion, that's when the world pays attention. That's when you earn respect. Not forced obedience, not fake admiration, real, earned respect. Because now, people know you don't have to be kind. You choose to be. They know your kindness isn't coming from weakness. It's coming from control, from mastery, from confidence. And that's powerful. When you walk into a room with strength, you command the energy. When you combine that with humility, patience, and a willingness to help, you transform that space. People feel safe around you, not because you're harmless, but because you're dangerous and in control. That's what real leadership is. That's what makes people follow you even when they don't have to. That's the kind of presence that turns heads, earns trust, and makes your name carry weight. Think about the strongest people you admire, the ones who could crush their enemies, but instead choose discipline, grace, and calm. That's what separates men from boys. It's not hard to react, to explode, to overpower. Anyone with rage can break something, but it takes real strength to hold back, to stay composed when you could easily dominate. That's where respect comes from. That's where authority is born. When people see that your power isn't out of control, but locked in, restrained, precise. You want to win in life, don't just become strong, become unshakable. Then layer kindness on top. Be the one who can lift others, because you've already lifted yourself. Be the one who doesn't need to prove anything, but still chooses to lead, protect, and uplift. That's rare. That's powerful. And in a world full of fake strength and fake smiles, that's what people remember. But don't confuse this with people pleasing. You're not soft. You're not bending to fit in. You're standing firm in who you are and offering your hand because you can, not because you need to. You don't give from emptiness. You give from overflow. Your strength gives your kindness meaning. Without that foundation, your generosity is just noise. So train your body, sharpen your mind, build your discipline, make yourself dangerous. But never forget your humanity. Choose kindness not as a weakness, but as a weapon. Because when people realize you have the power to destroy, but you choose to serve, that's when you become unforgettable. That's when your name starts to echo beyond the moment, not just as someone who could win, but someone who deserved to. In the end, the world doesn't respect the loudest or the most feared. It respects those who balance power with purpose and confidence with compassion. Be that man. Be that force. Not just to win, but to lead, to build, and to last. When people hear the word force, they instantly think of physical power. Fists, muscles, brute strength. But that's surface level. Real force isn't loud. It doesn't need to be violent. True force is quiet, consistent, and absolutely unshakable. It's not just in your body. It's in your mindset, your presence, your ability to keep going when everyone else taps out. Force is waking up every single morning and doing the hard thing, the right thing, the necessary thing. Not for attention, not for validation, but because you said you would. Force is staying committed long after the excitement fades. Anyone can go hard for a day. Anyone can post motivational quotes and scream into a camera for a week. But real force is still grinding 6 months in, a year in, 5 years in. When no one's clapping, when no one's encouraging you, when nobody even notices. That's what separates the winners from the quitters. Not talent, not luck, just sheer relentless consistency, the ability to show up when it's boring, when it's painful, when it's cold, when it's inconvenient. That's force. You want to know what power looks like? It's the man who doesn't flinch. It's the man who trains every day, works every day, grows every day, because he gave himself a standard and he refuses to drop below it. No one's forcing him. No one's watching him. He's not performing. He just refuses to be average. That's power. That's force. The force of discipline. The force of routine. The force of becoming unbreakable, mentally, physically, emotionally. It's easy to talk when the lights are on. It's easy to post motivation when you're feeling hyped. But what about when life hits you in the mouth? What about when you're tired, broke, stressed, betrayed, alone? That's when real force shows up. That's when your habits, your self-respect, and your discipline have to carry you. Because there's no motivation on those days, just decisions. Just character, just force, not physical, internal. Presence is force. Just being in the room, being the one people look to for stability, for clarity, for direction. That's power. When you walk into a space and your energy shifts the atmosphere, not because you're loud, but because you're grounded, that's force. When people can feel your discipline before you even speak, that's force. And it's earned day by day, rep by rep, through a life of consistency. No shortcuts, no hacks, just relentless repetition of the right actions. Most people quit not because they're weak, but because they've never felt the power of true consistency. They don't stick with anything long enough to experience the force it creates. They dabble, they flinch, they reset. But when you refuse to quit, when you show up, rain or shine, sick or healthy, energized or drained, that's when you build momentum. That's when the universe starts to move out of your way. That's when people stop underestimating you. Force isn't a moment, it's a lifestyle. You become forceful by becoming the man who simply does not stop, who does not negotiate with weakness, who honors his own word more than anyone else's opinion. And that kind of force can't be faked. It can't be borrowed, it has to be built. Painfully, patiently, consistently. Every time you honor your discipline, you add to your force. Every time you train when you don't feel like it, work when you're tired, stay calm when you want to explode, you build that force. It grows silently. And one day, people start to notice. They don't know how to describe it, but they feel it. Your presence says, I've done the work. I don't need to talk. I am the standard. So don't chase force in the gym alone. Don't wait for people to praise you before you act. Be the storm. Be the presence. Be the one who never breaks. That's real force. And once you become that, no one can touch you.